Good day, and welcome to the Budding Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Randy Bridges. In each episode, I cover my experiences, both good and bad, of being a business builder, as well as my journey through the crazy world of entrepreneurship to reach my goal of earning $10 million a year. All right. We are on episode 146 of the podcast. Today is May the 3rd, 2024. This is the point at which we start making a switch in our content for the podcast this month. We are digging in on a new topic today. I want to kind of introduce that. But first of all, we're coming from the muggy confines of Indiana from all of the Stormageddon 2024 that occurred this past week and weekend. Huge amounts of tornadoes. I saw one video of a group of people that were doing storm chasing, and they had 10 tornadoes break out in a one-day period as they were driving, dealing with all of this whole thing. And one tornado actually traversed state lines and went into, I believe it was Iowa from Nebraska. We're getting all of that wonderful, warm, hot weather coming in here, making this shift into spring a little uncomfortable, but fun nonetheless. Beautiful weather. It's just a bit humid. We're looking at our books. We're still revisiting $100 million leads. I started doing something with another influencer who was talking about DMs and ads, and how your strategy can help grow your practice, grow your business by focusing on this in a slightly different way. A lot of people go out there and they do DMs of, hey, I do this. If you're interested, let's connect up. And I've tried that. And what I end up getting when I do that is I get a connection to an account. I don't actually make the connection to the person that I'm really trying to get a hold of. This is really good education for me to really wrap my head around starting the conversations in a completely different way. And it's already made a big difference in the outreach that I'm doing. By the way, if you are not doing outreach according to direct messages, you don't even have to go into ads. If you can just get direct messages going for you, you can build a small stable of first connections and then reach out to people that are on the other side of that person and get an easier connection to them by being able to talk through the fact that you already have a connection to somebody they know. We're also looking at Selling You by Napoleon Hill. I've read another chapter of that one. Really good information, a lot of perspective on keeping things rolling. And of course, the new model of selling by Jerry Acuff and Jeremy Miner. I've been spending a lot of time in the NEPQ Black Book. So that's a great thing to be able to focus on and see what's happening in this process of trying to sell to people who really don't want to buy. Looking at our quotes for this week, actually, it's a single quote from Aaron Fletcher. If you know anything about my background and followed any of these podcasts, you've heard that name before. His quote reads like this: "We don't need more content. The world and the internet has plenty of content. What we need is context to answer the question, what does all of that content mean?" I want to read a kind of a non-formal definition of context. This is from thisversusthat.io, and it says context refers to the circumstances, environment, or background in which the content is presented. It provides the framework for understanding the content, and it includes factors like speaker's intention, the audience, cultural norms, and historical events. Context adds depth and meaning to content, shaping our understanding and influencing our interpretation. Now, using the Jeremy Miner thinking here, context is the same thing as tonality. Most people, when you're talking to them, don't necessarily hear your words. They hear the tonality behind it. Are you speaking in a jovial manner? Are you speaking in a concerned manner? Are you not so sure that somebody should go in a general direction? Are you working with a questioning tonality? What is it that you're intending your words to do or mean? What is the structure? And that's what context really is all about. And Aaron has it right. I mean, we all produce so much content, but until we understand how that content works with the world around us, it's just kind of just more info that we can't really use. Or if we can use it, we don't necessarily know how to effectively use it. That's our quote for the week. I want to go into our new business strategy for this month. It's called value-based pricing. Now, I've used this term before, and I've talked about value-based pricing in a very high-level way, but essentially what it is, a process of pricing something. It's not based on time. It's not based on money necessarily. And it may not always be necessarily based on outcomes. So we'll take a look at 5 of these today, the 5 different types of value-based pricing. And then next week and through the rest of the month, we're going to look at the benefits of some of these. We're going to look at the implementation of them in your business or practice, and some examples and cases that you can study. So digging into the 5 types of value-based pricing, there's perceived value pricing, performance-based pricing, outcome-based pricing, tiered pricing, and what I call range pricing. And we'll cover each of those real quickly. Perceived value pricing is based on the customer's perception of the product or service's worth. So this is something that a lot of collectors are involved in. What is it worth to somebody else who's looking for it, and how much can you get for it? And we want to be able to bring that price down unless we are the ultimate person. I mean, obviously we want to bring prices down if we can, but in a perceived value pricing is, what is it in the eye of the beholder? Okay. Performance-based pricing. This is determined by performance or results achieved by the product or service. So in a case like this is a lot of times how sales and marketing can expand within a company. You get better results, you make more money. I mean, it's simple, right? Or your performance through the whole thing is improved and you move one place up in the realm of the market around you. These are performance-based prices, and the higher the performance, the more expensive it becomes. Outcome-based pricing is similar to performance-based pricing because the pay is based on the outcomes or benefits they receive, where this is the actual end user is getting this from this product or service, whereas performance-based pricing is usually somebody's an intermediary, like a salesperson, like a marketing person, or they're a reseller, something like that. In outcome-based pricing, we're dealing with the final buyer. Then there's tiered pricing. Now, this is offering different price tiers based on varying levels of features, benefits, and usage limits. In a service-based business, this would be your platinum, gold, silver, bronze packages, right? So these are different tiers. Or you might have tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. However it is, as you go up your tiers, you're adding more value, and you're probably adding more features, more benefits along the way. Range pricing is a little bit different. This is one that I use, and it's one that I've been very happy about. It's where we determine the percentage of difference between current losses and costs and the desired gains and benefits. And this percentage is often risk-based based on the provider. So maybe you're losing $30,000 a month and you want to get to a $70,000 plus per month over a period of maybe 3 months. Well, the 3 months isn't the key. That's where risk kind of comes in. But it's a difference from 30,000 loss to 70,000 gain is $100,000 difference. And so what happens is maybe the person who's purchasing this can expect different things, but the person who's actually selling says, look, I want 30 or 40% of that difference. One time. You can keep it after that. We'll put the whole process in place for you. But after that, you keep it. And as the risk goes up, maybe they want to use more of their own people. Maybe they want it done faster, right? Faster isn't always better, but in this case, faster will definitely equate to higher prices. That increases the risk, and the risk raises that percentage from maybe 30 to 40 all the way up to 50 to 60. So it just depends on what you're dealing with there. And so that's called range pricing. So looking at value-based pricing, and there's many, many other types. There is revolving pricing, which is something completely different. And it's actually good for your business as well as your client or customers. So those are the 5 types of value-based pricing we'll primarily deal with. I'm going to keep this relatively short because next week we're going to look at the benefits and implementation of value-based pricing. And then over the last 2 weeks of the month, we'll look at examples of it so we can see how it functions within a business and cases of what kind of difference it's made. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. We had our quote from Aaron Fletcher. We still have our books, The $100 Million Lead, Selling You, and New Model of Selling. We are looking at this DM process, and I'll be sharing more about that next week, DMs and ads. And then today we looked at the 5 types of value-based pricing, going further next week into benefits and implementation, and the following weeks in examples and cases. So for the budding entrepreneur, this is Randy Bridges wishing you the best in your health, your wealth, your business, your family, everything about you. Take care. We'll see you back here next week.